A good Shabbos, everyone. Shabbos before Pashas Behaloscha. Also, today is the 15th of the month of Sivan, the day the previous Lubavitch Rebbe was arrested in 1927 for his spreading Yiddishkeit and tireless dedication to Jewish education, especially for children. At the time, the 15th of Sivan was a very dark day. The previous Lubavitch Rebbe was going to be sentenced to death. He was actually sentenced to death. They reversed the sentence, eventually to be the beginning of the redemption on the 3rd of Tammuz, Gimel Tammuz, to the final redemption on the 12th, 13th of Tammuz. And at the time, the previous Lubavitch Rebbe wrote that Lo Yosi Bavad, not only myself have I been personally redeemed, but this is a redemption for anyone who holds special ideas of Torah and education. So really that today's a dark day really ends up being the beginning of something great, a redemption that is revealed in the world only through the dark time of the month of what happened on the 15th of Sivan. And this leads us to this week's parsha, an amazing idea. We spoke about it this week at the class. The Rebbe says in 1987, the Rebbe is bringing on the 12th of Sivan, which is also the completion of the 7 days of Miluim, the 7 days where a person has an opportunity to bring the sacrifices for the holiday of Shavuos. And also, we learn about this week's parsha, the Pesach Sheni, which the message we all know, Pesach Sheni, Nishto came farfallen, it's never too late, and a person could make a hashlama, could complete what they've lacked, even if it was by choice, that they didn't do the first sacrifice of Pesach, even if it was Lachem, they could do it on Pesach Sheni. This week's parsha starts off with Behaloscha and Rashi brings down the Medrash, the idea that Aaron says, Aaron's feeling bad, he's feeling weak, he's feeling that maybe he and his tribe have not been able to be part of the dedication of the temple. Last week's parsha, Parshas Nasai, finishes with the dedication of the Mishkan by the 12 tribes, but there was no representation of the tribe of Levi. And again, Aaron HaKohen is feeling bad. Maybe it's connected to the Chet Egel. And God tells him that, don't worry, you're going to light the menorah. And he adds to that, Shalacho Godum L'Shalahem. Yours is going to be greater than theirs. Based on this, the Ramban says that this is also talking about the menorah of the Chashmonaim, the menorah of Hanukkah that lasts even after the destruction of the Beis HaMikdash. And the Rebbe asks the question, why does the Hashem have to tell Aaron that Shalacha Godul Mishlam, that you're going to be greater than the Nesiim? Aaron was feeling bad that he wasn't able to be part of the dedication. Hashem could have just told him that you're also part of the dedication by lighting the menorah. And here the Rebbe teaches us a tremendous lesson about Hashlam, about when you complete something, when you fix something that was broken, when you do a Pesach Sheni. We find by Pesach Sheni that there's a difference in laws. Where the first Pesach we can't eat chametz because chametz is a distraction. Chametz is ego. When a person's experiencing the message of Pesach, the leap in life, that if you have any kind of chametz, any kind of ego mixed involved, it could be damaging. Comes Pesach Sheni, a person's allowed to have chametz in the house. Why? Because although you're taking even a double leap, it's a Sheni, it's a second Pesach, it's a second jumping, and although you're accomplishing lefachot at least of what you've done in the first Pesach, if not more, but because it comes from a place where a person says, Lama Nigara, why am I being let out? It comes from a place where a person feels that he or she's not part of the community. And I didn't have an opportunity to join the community and be part of the story of Pesach. And it calls out from the depth of their soul, Lama Nigara, why am I being left out? That kind of commitment to Torah is so strong that even chametz, even if a person may have things that are vulnerable, in other situations, you're so solid at this moment when you're feeling Lama Negara, why am I being left out, that we're not concerned with chametz. We're not concerned with maybe ego is going to get the better of you. Same thing with Aaron. The Rebbe says an amazing idea. Hashem could have also told Aaron right away that you're going to do the menorah. He waited for Aaron to feel bad, because by feeling bad, by having the reverse, by having the negative, by having the meriris, the bitterness, by having the falling down, is where he was able to stand so much greater. And therefore, Hashem says that I wanted that you should have an opportunity to have something greater than the Nesiim, than the princes. Therefore, by feeling bad, you're able to have, like the Pesach Sheni, you're able to have Shilcha, that what you do, the menorah, is greater than the sacrifice of the Nesiim. And the Rebbe says this idea of all hashlamas, of completion, we find in this week's parsha talks about, the Alter Rebbe talks about in the Kutei Torah, that we have the vowels of Shurik and Segel. Shurik is 3 dots going down. A person could start falling in life, so chas v'shalom, you could fall down, this first dot, the second dot, third dot, until you're going all the way down. Like Yirmiyahu says, the word Shurik is the descent, a person falling into the abyss. But a person, when you fall down in a shuruk, the thing is that if you take the dot, the final dot, and you don't bring it back to the second dot, but you bring it all the way to the first dot and higher, it goes from being a shuruk to a segel. And a segel is vayisim li segula, you become a special people. Sometimes in our darkest moments is when we could find elevation. In our darkest moments is when we could find elevation that we wouldn't have had we not fallen down. And this is the message of Behaloscha, and therefore the Alter Rebbe continues that when a person lights the candles, it's not just about lighting the candles that we say, I recognize the greatness of the light of Torah, but I'm also burnt inside, I'm bitter inside. Why isn't there revelation? Why hasn't Mashiach come yet? And when we're able to feel the lacking of revelation in the world, then what you have is greater than even what the Nesim have to try to perfect themselves. But the negative brings out a stronger positive than you would have had you never had this bad experience. I want to wish everyone that we're going in that Tesvav. Today is a dark day in history. The previous Rebbe was arrested. But we have to know that from this comes a greater Geula. From all the negative that's happening around us, we have to know that a great day is coming. The Yom HaGadol with the coming of Mashiach. Good Shabbos.